Hey, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another reading. This one is going to be called Present, or more specifically, like how to stay present, how to keep your balance. This was, funnily enough, this was inspired by an observation that I was, or maybe not even an observation, but more of a thought. I guess everything's inspired by thought in one way or another. But it was inspired by a thought which was kind of the opposite. It was inspired by the opposite, observing or recalling certain moments which were the opposite of being present. And I was kind of thinking about the idea of like when someone's toxic, and it kind of just dawned on me, it sat on my spirit that, sometimes when someone is toxic, it's like, for one, they're not even present. So being present is, like I said, the title of this video. But it's like they're not even there. It's like they're not even there sometimes. And I was starting to think, I guess like certain toxic traits, certain forms of like mental health that people suffer with, you know, I can see why people attach that to kind of demonic activity sometimes, because it's like they're not even there. It's almost like they get possessed for a certain moment, and then it's like the demon does its work. I swear I shouldn't laugh at this. It's like it's like the demon does its work. But I've still got some. I clearly have still some growing to do myself. I have not met the point of full spiritual enlightenment yet. But it's like the demon possesses them for a little bit, like snatches them and then gives them back. And even there, a little bit like, I don't know what come over me. I just noticed that. And I think the older version of me, whenever I witness that, the younger version of me, I should say, the younger version of me, when I witness that, because I have got an empathetic core to me. I do feel other people's pain easily, which is why I protect my energy so much. But the younger version of me, I used to feel empathy for what I was witnessing. I used to want to help that person. And as I grew older, sharpened my own discernment, strengthened my own boundaries, become wiser, in many ways harder as a man, I realized that a lot of those incidents I witnessed and continue to witness in other people, you can't actually help them. Can't actually help them. It's just, like I said, it's a taking over, and then it's like they come back. But when that shit goes down, it's almost like asking someone who's thirsty not to drink. It's like they're always gonna drink. Like when you've got a person who, I was even thinking, I wouldn't say that I've ever known someone who's narcissistic, because I think you have to diagnose that professionally to actually call it that. But even people who are narcissistic, or some people who I might have thought could have been narcissistic, like when I look back on it, from when I was like younger, I just don't think there was anything that could be done, you know. I don't know if there's any peace in that or if it's just damn depressing. I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe people who are listening to this, you can take something away from it. I feel there's other types of people who you can actually help. It's like when there's still that kind of glimmer in the eye, you can help them. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is looking back into my younger years, there was people where that spark in their eye, that glint, it was gone, and I still thought that I could save them. So I'm laughing again. And now that I'm an older person, a wiser person, it's like I automatically know that same look means that it's too far gone, they're too far gone, you know? And even that thought process, it does make me a little bit sad because it's like, too far gone, that's harsh. I think what I mean by that is at least too far gone for me. I'm sure there's someone out there who can help, someone who's completely empty in their soul. I'm sure there's some spiritual healer out there who deals with that and who's mastered that. But just at least in my life, to make my life, give my life peace, I've just come to realize that there's a certain vibration which I sense now as an adult or a mature adult, where I can automatically know that, yeah, no, that energy ain't for me, y'all. So yeah, I can't even remember what the title of this was. I'm almost feeling like, is this a reading to talk about peace, like finding peace? Might have to rename it to that, finding peace. But yeah, a necessary introduction, I think, for you all who are listening. Maybe something just to leave you with on the introduction is, have you reevaluated where your boundaries sit with people? When was the last time you did that? When was the last time you said to yourself, when someone acts in X, Y, and Z way, I just don't tolerate that. That person can't be in my life. So an example would be, I don't know, this is a really stupid one, right? But let's just say, um, in your friendship circle, let's say if you're going out with your friends and you buy the round of drinks, are you okay? And I'm really simplifying this and dumbing this down, by the way. But are you okay with having a friend who you can go the whole night out with and they don't buy any rounds of drinks? I think I made that decision when I was about 16. Like, I'm not going to have friends like that around me. I think I think my lack of money at the time made me realize real quick that I can't have people that stingy around me. That just ain't gonna work out. But whoever's listening, you might have certain friends who just don't give back. That would be an example. I know it's a stupid one. It might be something in your relationships. you're just not going to tolerate people who, who don't treat you, who don't show their love to you. Could be, it could be anything. But when was the last time you actually said, I just ain't gonna tolerate that? And maybe that's a challenge for you, for everyone who's listening. Kind of reset some of those boundaries and say, if a person like that comes into my life, I am just not having it no more. That's it. That's a wrap. So I'm gonna call this one peace, because I forgot what I was talking about at the start. God bless me. Finding peace, I'll call this, or something like that. I'm gonna use my thick pen today, so brace yourself for minimalist reading. Hopefully some inspiration for you on how you can keep peace. Hope you get something valuable from this. And as always, pile number 1, 2 and 3, feel free to pause the video. Starting with pile number 1s. Pile number 1s. Finding peace. What do you see? What do you feel? Certain vibration here of like possibly momentum, and also I'm getting like a vibration of like rhythm. Could be musicians, pile number 1s. Could be musicians. I'm trying to think of anything else which incorporates that vibration that I was thinking. It might be even pile number 1s that you might be finding peace in music of some kind. Like possibly like a new type of music. There's a little dog I'm seeing outside, which is just having the absolute time of its life. Absolute time of its life. The damn dog is playing like it's got 20 friends. That it's clearly like a young puppy. It's playing around these leaves like it's got 20 friends. Funnily enough, another dog has just spotted it and is interested. It's funny. It's almost this reading is almost talking about vibration, and it's like this dog is playing like it has friends, and it's actually manifesting friends. Like the other dogs which are passing by, they want to go play with it because the dog has got so much energy. So this might be this might be a lesson for you, pile number 1s. It's like this dog. It's funny. The owner looks so calm, but the dog is having the time of its life. It's like maybe there's a lesson there for you of keeping your peace, pile number 1s. So there's something to do with like rhythm. So there was definitely like this dog running around. There's like a rhythm there. It was kind of doing circles and stuff as well, right? But more importantly, it was almost like it was pulsing the energy of excitement. Therefore, other dogs were picking up on the fact that, okay, that dog over there is excited. I want to go and join that excitement. It's interesting because this is about peace, but maybe this is to do with maybe this is to do with kind of your peace in terms of, it could be to do with like friends or community, is partially by keeping your peace, is by staying in your true vibration when you're alone. Oh, that's it. That's the sweet spot. Spirit just kind of gave it there, yeah. So, part number one's in order to keep your peace, you have to keep your peace. You have to be your true self alone, as well as when you're in environments where people can see you. Are you able to have the same joy of like being around your friends by yourself as you are when you're around your friends? Now, it's not saying when you're having some calm, introverted space, you need to be hyped. We aren't talking about that. We're just talking about like a sense of content, being in yourself, in your true vibration, regardless of the context. I think that's what this reading's getting at here. So, pile number one's quite quick readings. I feel like they are always fairly quick. It's not always the case whenever I'm using this thicker pen. But yeah, I think we got to the point there, and I hope you got something from that. If you did, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, pile number two's like holding your peace. Oh. Okay. I think I know what you're reading is like automatically from that slip up. I've got two little nephews, and one of the things that they both struggle with, call it a little bit autistic or what's it, neurodivergent, or just in their damn personalities. God damn it, because sometimes I find that people, like if you ever wonder how different we are, just look at kids. If you have your own children and you can see how different they are, or if you are an uncle like me, the children come from the same people, but the children end up being so different from each other. Anyways, two nephews of mine from the same parents, they struggle a lot with making mistakes. And whenever I'm there, I try and teach them, especially when they're drawing or colouring in something. That thing that just happened there, which was a mistake, which was a blip, for whatever reason, in my life, I became really comfortable, is the word coming through. Very, very comfortable with making mistakes. It could easily just be that as you continue the life of a creative, you realize that great things come from mistakes. It could just be that as you mature and grow up, you realize sometimes these little mistakes create beautiful things. It's almost like, at least for me, when I look at this drawing now, that's probably the most beautiful thing in the drawing. It's the thing that stands out. I'm not sure if that's the biasty of my brain working here, but seriously, that's the most interesting thing on the page for me, because it's an accident, but it seems to be, like that term, a happy accident. Um, it somehow looks like it's meant to be there, although it's different. It creates, something beautiful. So back to my nephews, they really struggle. So if that happened to them, they would basically, turn into these little devil children. And it don't matter what, how you approach it. If you approach them sternly, if you try and be Mr. Stern on call who's about to beat your ass if you don't be quiet, no. If you try and be kind on call, which is, come give me a hug, calm down, no. And I've eventually just tried to train them, not train them is the wrong word, but maybe inspire them that you can always, 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 always make something beautiful out of a mistake. So that's something I do whenever I can, when I'm around them. I think they're slowly getting it. I think I'm sharing this message with you, pile number 2, not to patronize you and put you in the position of my nephews, but just because I've come to realize that it really is one of the most important skills that I could ever instill upon them. It really is important, because when you can apply that same analogy to art as you can apply it to life, you start uncracking the code. In life as well, mistakes happen, but when you can look at it in a perspective like this, which is sometimes time is the thing that gives us that, it's time, because we have to look back and go, at the moment of me doing that mistake, I made that sound, which was like, shit, like I fucked up, basically. But I kept going, and then the drawing was over, and then I could appreciate it. So even in this small example, it's still time, but more so in life, it's sometimes a longer period of time where you realise, shit, that thing that happened wrong there actually turned out to be a blessing. And sometimes the blessing is just in the way that you styled it out too. Sometimes it wasn't like this piece of art went on to become £1 million worth of art. Sometimes the value is just in the way that you styled it out. Like, that shit's just dope. You can look at yourself and go, shit, it's just dope. That's the win. Like when a cool person trips up on the street, but they're still cool. They still kind of look cool somehow. They laugh it off and it's kind of cool. And then another motherfucker can trip up and it's just the most awkwardest thing you've ever seen in your life. Part number 2 is, I think that's kind of the message from Spirit. You want to be the cool person who kind of laughs it off, opposed to the awkward person who's looking around at every single possible person who could have seen them fall over. It's not so cool. Just be the person who kind of gets on with it. So part of keeping your peace, pile number 2, I think we've explained everything we need to explain here. It's life is full of mistakes. Style them out. Be cool with it. Carry your swag. And I think that's your message, pile number twos. If you enjoyed it, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Pile number three is something here to do with your emotions. I can tell straight away. There may be a song called like Fade Away or something like that. Fade Away. That's important to you. Something fading away here. This could possibly just be talking about that energy of letting go. But kind of lyrics like Fade Away was coming through. Or was it Sail Away? Is that something Gray? David Gray? David Gray, Sail Away. I think that rhymes. I think there's a song called Sail Away by David Gray. That song, for some weird reason, just came through loud and proud. You might want to listen to that song. I could be getting the lyrics wrong, the song title even, and the artist wrong, but I think it's David Gray, and the song is called Sail Away. Sail Away, you know, like a boat. Listen to that, or even just Google the lyrics to that song, because I feel like that song is underpinning this reading. There's just something here, like it came in so, this was like, sometimes the readings are harder and sometimes they're easier. This was just so easy because it was just coming in before I even put the pen to the paper. Like I said, it's the energy of sail away, letting go of something. So this was about holding your peace. I think it's 100% to do with holding your peace by letting things go. Now, gosh, look, my perspective on this has even changed since creating this channel, to be honest. Because I tell you what, it's changed. If I could speak to my younger self about letting go, there's something that I would say to my younger self, which is, the hardest thing about letting go is not the letting go. It's that the things that we should be letting go of, we aren't even conscious of. So, with that said, pile number three is, it's the wisdom of what I'm trying to give to you today is that the things that we should be letting go of aren't even conscious to us. That's the most important thing about letting things go, letting things sail away. So I would say, pile three is, your lesson isn't necessarily in letting things go. When you actually think about it, people are actually quite good at letting things go. What people aren't so good at is knowing, should I let it go or not? That's actually the thing that people struggle with. people hang on to the false hope sometimes. People hang on to the illusion of it could be better, they could be better, if it's a romance or whatever the situation is. That's what people actually struggle with. Sometimes we even struggle with the dream, letting go of the dream. I'm getting some heavy confirmations whilst doing this from the wind, actually, which kind of is perfectly synchronized to letting things go and letting things sail away. There's even another song called Sail Away that's coming through now too, and I'm not even going to sing it, but it's from a woman. You might want to Google Sail Away and listen to that other song too. So I hope that makes sense to you. Pole number 3 is this: the letting go is not actually difficult. Like when if God came down and looked you in the eye and goes, get rid of this thing, let this thing go, it's gonna cause this in your life 100%, and you saw God with your own eyes just come down from the sky, sit down on a chair and say these words to you, you'd let that person go the moment you got that confirmation. But that's the issue, right? We don't always get those confirmations in life. Like, God wants us to figure it out. So we spend time maybe not letting something go that we should because we're unsure. And then, like I said, we're sometimes not even like conscious of it. We're thinking in our head that maybe that thing's actually healthy. Or maybe it's just in our blind spot. You know? It reminds me as I sip on my coffee. I like a bit of sugar in my coffee, and I know sugar's bad for you. But it just reminds me of the days where, like growing up, I knew candy was bad for me. But I didn't actually realise that sugar was bad for me. It's like a blind spot. You know, I didn't realise. As a child, I didn't realise that candy was bad for me because sugar is bad for me. And even though your parents might say, oh, it's full of sugar, there's not really the association there of like a bag of sugar kind of that necessarily being toxic or bad for you. You know, even looking at things now as an adult, like, it's really kind of funny how this reality is because it's like, this reality is actually like smothered, covered in things that are just bad for us. Have you ever noticed that? It's like when you walk into a shop, like a supermarket, like pretty much you got the fruit and veg section, which is good for you, and even that stuff is usually pumped with shit that isn't good for us. But if you want to be like real super honest, near enough, everything else, like 90% of the other shit in that supermarket, it's bad for you. It's like the majority, the high majority, like the good 90% of the other stuff in there is just bad for you. From the snack aisle to the biscuits, to most of the meat, to the dairy. Do you know what I'm saying? When you think about it, it's like the whole 95 goddamn percent is just a trap. It's like, fuck. Like, no wonder why everyone's fucked up. It's because this structure, this system, this reality that we're in, I'm not even playing victim here, but it sets your ass up this reality really sets your ass up to fail. And man, if you don't have the knowledge, you definitely fitting to get fucked. Like, you just waiting to be fucked by society when you don't have the knowledge either. That knowledge for me came like so late in my life. I don't know about you. Are we at par number threes? You might relate to what I'm saying here. I'm not sure if you had parents who were kind of conscious. It's spiritually and nutritionally, etc., etc. If you was blessed enough to have parents like that, but I really weren't, and I think the majority of us aren't. So I guess one can argue there's levels to this, isn't there? Like, my parents and my family definitely tried their best. And when you compare that to someone who has even less knowledge, it's like it's nothing to complain about. But yeah, shit still be fucked up. So went off on a little bit of a tangent there, part 3, but nothing's a tangent over here on If You Pause. It's all for a reason. You might even be like real talk, you might just be even letting go of certain nutritional bad habits. You might be sailing away from just bad food habits. You might have a little bit of a sweet tooth sometimes, like Zed over here. You might be trying to let that go a little bit. I definitely try my best when I can, with great failure. But at least it's something I'm conscious of, right? So part number 3 is, remember to give yourself self-love during this time of letting things go. Go easy on yourself. Life is hard as it is. Life is full of suffering as it is. Remember to give yourself some love. Give yourself some pampering. My dudes and my females. It's not just to my ladies out there. Remember to give yourself that self-love. And in whatever you're letting go, give thanks to your ancestors, to your spirit guides, to God obviously, and welcome in that new chapter. Welcome it in with love, and I wish you all the best in it. So poll number 3 is, if you enjoyed the reading, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.